Well, hello, and welcome back. This is Health, Wealth, and Commitment, where I teach you from the bias of my own experience how to win at life. And I am AJ O'Neill, by the way. So today's morning shower thought is resentment and how to avoid it. Now, this is not necessarily how to deal with it if you're already feeling it. This is how to avoid it in the first place, but maybe the two will coincide. In a word, well, in a phrase, I would say the most important thing when it comes to not having resentment in your life is not giving more than you are willing to lose. So I'm going to give you a very stark example here. Imagine that you were to give someone something and they were to spit in your face and throw it on the ground. Where you want to be is in a position that whatever you give them, that the act of them rejecting it, refusing it, using it inappropriately would be something that you can withstand and let go of. So if it's someone wants to borrow money from you, don't let them borrow any more money than you are willing to lose. If it is an emotional investment, don't give any more emotional investment than you are willing to have someone betray. Anything that requires something from you, set boundaries and measure yourself such that you are not giving away more than you are comfortable losing. Now, this is not to say that you should be stingy and cold-hearted and that you should not be giving. The point here is that you need to have enough, how to phrase this, the amount that you give needs to match the self-confidence and security that you have. If you are in a tight financial situation, it's probably not a good idea for you to give away lots of money, to borrow out, lend out lots of money to someone, because there's a potential that you won't get that back and it will harm you. It'll put you in a situation where you are uncomfortable and feel unsafe. And you don't want that to happen. Now, if you have plenty of money, all of your needs are met, maybe you can loan out someone $1,000, and if you never get it back, then maybe that won't put you in a situation of harm or unsafety or insecurity. And likewise, emotionally, in relationships, a lot of times at the beginning is where we feel most secure, but yet where we are willing to give the most investment. And if it turns out that either party has a change of heart or a realization or a better understanding of themselves that leaves the other in the position where they don't want to be, then you feel pain and hurt. And this is one that's particularly hard because it's emotion and it's not driven by the rational mind. But just as an example, whatever it is that you're doing in your life, if you want to avoid the feeling of being bitter and resentful, only give what you're willing to lose. And hopefully you can work towards being a more confident, more successful, more able person so that you have a lot that you can lose without going into a sense of insecurity or fear. Resentment comes from issues that you have not solved inside of yourself. Resentment does not come from what the other person does, but it comes from you, which is why it hurts you, which is why it makes your day more difficult. It makes your life circumstances, your relationships more strained. Resentment is something that comes from you because of what you have done. Now, I'm speaking in the general broad sense here. There may be some niche circumstances, but pretty much it's not you. You are probably not the special snowflake, so to speak. There are a very limited number of cases that I could potentially imagine where you might feel resentment, and it is something that it was completely outside of your reasonable control. But I want to speak to the general case because that's the one that applies most broadly and the one that will be most beneficial to your life. So with that said, if this was useful for you, if it gave you a little bit of insight, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to follow, you can either on YouTube or Facebook. Check the links in the description for that. And if you've got any tips on how you avoid resentment or thoughts on this matter or something else in your life that maybe we could bring up in a later topic, I would love to hear about it. I would love to know what helps you win at life. So with that said, I think it is time for us to part ways for the morning. you have an absolutely wonderful day. And also, if you are interested in learning to program, that is my other channel. Link is in the description for that. All that said, adios. Okay, that was my fault. I hit the wrong hotkey that time. That was me. The software, I'm still learning it. It's frustrating sometimes, but that was on me. Here we go.